Hello friends, I'm back with another uh, Burp Suite lab, which is again an apprentice level of lab, and this lab is on topic on SQL injection, and what we are going to just look at how you can do a bypass during login. So usually any website where you are trying to log in, or any application you are trying to log in, it needs certain kind of credentials to just verify that you are the user who is supposed to be there for accessing that uh, resources and content. But here we have to look on this vulnerability, and if that exists, there is possibility that it can be bypassed. So in previous video we have discussed about looking as we have looked on the vulnerability on the where clause. So we are again going to look somewhere here that how we can bypass a login of the user. Okay, so usually whenever we are trying to log in on application server or any website, usually it would have a database, centralized user storage, where it will be storing user IDs and passwords. And that is how when you submit your user ID and password, then basically it is going in the back end looking the combination of user ID and password, then it try to match it, and if that goes as successful, you get access to that resource. So simply I say that you are an administrator user. So let's consider that username is here administrator. So let's say that this is username is administrator, all right, and you are trying to log in. Then how this is going to happen? Probably most likely your application server could send a SQL query to your SQL database, something like select star from users. I'm considering here users name of table where data and information of that all those users are going to be stored. So we will select star from users, and then we can put kind of filter where we can say kind of username is equal to, so it would be administrator. So first filter you will put that you have to select where username is administrator, and if you want more, then yes, you can put add, and password is equal to something your password. Here it could be anything, your password, and your SQL might store those password in a form of MD5 sum in a plain. Usually in most of the situation, password is not stored in a plain text, it will be hashed. Sometimes salting might be added so that it cannot be easily uh, re, uh, converted back to the actual password. So what we just performed in the previous video where we were looking the vulnerability on the where class, we are just going to look at how this can be critical. So if something like this query is being fired in the backend, instead we see that there is a where clause here available, and if application server is looking this information, then if the result of this query is true, your login will be successful. And to just manipulate this query, if we can comment out this section, then what will happen that yes, still this query will be correct from select to administrator, because your user will be there, although it will be not looking the password because that part might get commented. So if we put something like here, and we put something like that, then this entire part will be now commented out, and only this section of query will be executed. So it is just going to ask select username administrator from users table. If that user exists, it is simply going to say okay, login. That means we have skipped the validation of password. So let's give it a try and see how this works. So I'm going to first look for the proxy, and I will enable the proxy so that I can capture request in my Burp Suite, and I'm going to start my Burp Suite over here. Okay, meanwhile it is initiating. Let's try to access our lab. Alright, I believe it has initiated proxy. So let's disable proxy for the time being so we can at least get the page. Alright, here we are back. Go inside over here. Okay, so let's go inside, access the lab. Okay, so we have got the page, and probably in my account I will just try to see that there is a login option where I have to enter some username and password, and let's try with some administrator ID and try some random password, kind of a blank password. Does it work? No, it is not working. It is saying that first please fill out this field. So let's try 1 2 3 4 5 6. No, so it is not going to work. We can try some common password, kind of 40 at 1 2 3, or we can just try with the password at 1 2 3. So these are the things that you can try, but this is something different. We have to just enable our intercept here and then fire a query here. So I'm putting the user ID administrator, and let's put the password 1 2 3 4 5 6 and try to log in here. It is simply saying invalid username or password. Also, I have just enable my proxy because we are yet not sending traffic to our Burp Suite. Now I have enabled. Go for access some password, some random characters, and try to log in. Now we will get something here into Burp Suite, and we see that there is a request for login, and it has sent my username and 1 2 3 4 5 6 password. So let's send this request to our repeater because we might need this request to use it again, and just intercept the response of this request and forward it. Okay, this is Firefox telemetry. Forward this. Okay, now we have received the response from the server. So what server is sending a response, lab is saying not solved, my account name and is sending. Basically there is a response that invalid username or password. So basically server is sending a request that username and password is not correct. So you can forward all those traffic and see the response. It is saying invalid username or password. Now it's time to go on repeater. Okay, now here in repeater what we will do, because we have already got the query, so we can now look request attribute that we are sending, post request, because it is a post request, that's why we are sending user ID and password into the body, and the path is /login, and in body parameter we are sending username and password. Now let's try to manipulate this query and try to log in. So first thing, like I mentioned, you can try with this option by trying to comment out the rest of the section. So I'm going to just remove this field itself, because we are not sending anything over here. So just remove this one and then send a crafted payload from here, and now try to send this. So it is saying parameter is missing. Okay, so the last request that we just tried to delete, probably it is looking that information, it might be checking that. So we can again go back here in the situation, and we can keep this and we can add the value here, password and value as 1 2 3 4 5 6. Okay, so now it is sending the entire query again, and let's now give it again a try. I'm just waiting here because we have sent a crafted request, administrator, and just waiting for response if you have received anything over here. No. Okay, it is saying failed to connect, basically connection got failed. Let's try it again. Okay, it is again sharing info, missing parameter. Okay, so let's get this query again captured. Okay. It is saying that some parameters being missing. So intercept is again on. Log in here. Request is again over here. Send this request to repeater and then forward it, and now go on repeater. So here let's now try to modify the parameters over here. Here we have to just submit some kind of crafted query. And let's send it back. Okay, it has sent 302 not found. So let's try to see what is going on. Invalid CSRF token, session does not contain a CSRF token. Okay, so it is not sending the CSRF token. We have still one option available. We can try to send this query from here as well. The thing we are manipulating from here, we can also do from here as well. Let's have a look if you can do from the UI itself. We can put a crafted query. So it is asking some password. Let's put some random password here and try to log in and see here something in the response and intercept response of this request, and see it is saying invalid CSRF token, session does not contain a CSRF token. Something is not right in our request. Let's reload the situation. Something is not going. Okay, let's turn off the proxy for the time being, reload to ensure that we have got everything here. Okay, something is going wrong here. Not this one. And then I'm going to log in. I will again enable the proxy, enable the intercept, and go back here, try to log in something like that, and try with some random password. Now this request will be obviously available here, so I'm going to intercept response to this request, forward this one, and wait. So it is saying 302 not found. Forward this one. Okay, administrator, there is another request. Okay, forward this request again, and see in the backend we are sending one more request, academy header. If you look closely, something has happened weird in the backend. Just look over here. I have just sent a request with the name administrator, and I have just tried to comment the rest of the query by using this comment comment option, and you see that I am inside there, and now it is asking me to mail update my email ID. So if I want to now update my email ID, I can put something like abc@gmail.com. I can do that. Our proxy is still there. Let's close the proxy. If you look, I have updated my email ID abc@gmail.com, and now it is confirming that my email is abc@gmail.com. And if I will go, if I'm going on my account and just trying to see details about my account, my email ID is now updated to abc@gmail.com. Eventually, I was not aware about the password, but was just using a simple escape character. I was able to manipulate the query, and the password was no longer being validated, and this lab is also solved. So that's all for this video. Please like, subscribe, and share with your friends, and share your thoughts if you have anything about this video. Thank you.